The night was reeking with secrets, the kind that linger in the shadows of a perfect existence. Estelle Manning gazed into a half-empty whiskey glass in her faintly lit kitchen. Her reflection in the amber liquid was distorted and fractured. She was a top-tier real estate agent, charming, graceful, and coveted to the world. A sharp, respected attorney, Derek, as her spouse. They were the couple that everyone aspired to be. However, perfection was a facade that Estelle was weary of concealing behind closed doors. She felt her pulse accelerate. An elegant black sedan awaited outside. Austin Dickerson, who was reckless and impassioned, was everything Derek was not. A erstwhile client who has since become a lover. Their relationship had originated in the shadows and murmurs. Suddenly, it was a blaze that neither of them could manage. Austin's timbre is low. Are you certain about this? A long time ago, Estelle, I ceased to be certain about anything. The air between them became increasingly constrictive as he entered. However, the groan of the front door shattered their moment. Derek was at home. Estelle's irises were filled with panic. It was just in time for Austin to disappear upstairs. Derek is fatigued. Did I intend to conclude my evening? Estelle is beaming. That is quite appealing. However, it was not pleasant. Austin was only a heartbeat away from being detected in the upper level. Austin is murmuring, "This is perilous. It is imperative that we conclude this matter." Estelle, you are not implying that. However, she was aware that this situation would not endure. Secrets are perpetually revealed. Derek was absent. Austin as well. Estelle gazed at her reflection in the window. A stranger gazed back. Austin, it is imperative that we engage in conversation. This evening, the fractures in her idyllic existence were expanding rapidly. Estelle was shackled to the bed in a hospital room when she awoke the following morning. Her body was racked with pain. Detective Jacob Branson entered with a dispassionate, calculated demeanor. "Jacob." "Mrs. Manning, you are in dire straits." Her attempt to flee was unsuccessful. Derek had survived. And now the truth was being revealed. Jacob maintained his composure. "We have communicated with your aide. We are aware of the financial aspect. The fraudulent activity. Austin. Everything." She refrained from begging. She refrained from weeping. Estelle Manning refused to yield. Not yet. Her transfer to the county facility was scheduled for the morning. She could not wait. Not while there was still an opportunity. She selected the lock. The fourth blood was extracted. Perspiration. Suffering. The window was opened by her. The fourth floor. There is no alternative. She leaped. She collided with the dumpster. Living on the brink of death. A vehicle accelerated with a squealing noise. Austin was operating the vehicle. Estelle. Inadequate motivation. Station of the police. The same evening, the notification was received by Jacob. Crackling of the radio. "Branson. She has vanished." Jacob will collaborate with his companion. She devised this. We should proceed. Austin and Estelle retreated into the darkness. "Austin, what was the reason for your action?" She maintained her silence. The response was no longer relevant. A falsehood had been the foundation of her empire. Presently, she was merely striving to endure. They were imprisoned. Jacob is situated at the blockade. Please refrain from firing. The vehicle ceased to operate. Estelle exited the building. Bloody. Defective. However, it continues to endure. Jacob. Estelle, it has concluded. The trial for Estelle was scheduled. Overwhelming evidence was presented. Austin had surrendered. Derek is alive, recuperating, and disclosing the truth. Estelle was not only unfaithful, but she was also the head of a corrupt organization. Fraudulent real estate transactions. Accounts located offshore. Shell corporations. Derek had discovered it after the fact. She did not shoot me out of a sense of rage. She fatally shot me due to my perceived threat. Jacob was aware of one thing. Estelle Manning was not merely a criminal. She was a hurricane. And cyclones do not simply dissipate. They regroup. Jacob will be prepared for that eventuality. A month had elapsed. The truth reverberated within the courtroom walls and the lies breathed their last. Estelle Manning's eyes were still filled with pride, despite the fact that she was wearing a black outfit and her visage was tired. Derek sat silently in the audience, alive despite his injuries. Austin was prepared to provide testimony. Austin. Initially, I believed that she was evading her marriage. However, she was also evading the law by breaking down unspoken relationships. An emotive narrative about a father-in-law and his daughter-in-law. The commencement of an implicit agreement. Arian prepares brunch while the aroma of tea permeates the air. Veer, her father-in-law, can be observed in the courtyard, lost in contemplation. The plants are irrigated by her mother-in-law. Certain relationships are not intended to be discussed publicly. They are present in silence, in stolen glimpses, and in unexpressed emotions. This is my narrative, the tale of a love that was never in error but could never be entirely accurate. Arian's loneliness intensifies as she observes her spouse, Kabir, depart for work. Before entering his vehicle, he scarcely glances at her. Marriage was intended to be a journey of affection and companionship. However, it was a path that I traversed independently. Kabir was perpetually preoccupied and absent. Our discussions had evolved into mere exchanges of necessity. Silence reverberated through the walls of our residence. However, Veer, my father-in-law, was the only individual who acknowledged my distress. The camera concentrates on Veer as she observes Arian as she carelessly stirs her tea. Small gestures. Significant implications. On a dreary evening, Arian is situated near the window. She experiences a slight shiver as she becomes absorbed in her musings. Her shoulders are tenderly enveloped by a warm shawl. She turns to observe Veer standing behind her. Indeed, you will contract a chill. The rains have a tendency to penetrate the bones. Arian speaking quietly. I am grateful, Baba. His generosity was never intended or inappropriate. But there was something about his demeanor and the way he gazed at me that made me feel as though I was being acknowledged. A sensation that I had long since forgotten. Arian's fingers grip the shawl a little tighter as she gazes out at the rain for a lengthy period. The instant that remains unsaid. Arian falls down the stairs one afternoon. Strong hands catch her before she can fall, and she peers up, breathless. Veer's irises are alight with her apprehension. Indeed. Careful, Arian whispers. I am in good health. Their irises remain fixed for an excessive amount of time. Arian's pulse is pounding as she steps back. Veer swiftly turns away, as if she has come to the realization that the moment was too intimate. Every now and then, a single contact is sufficient to reawaken a deep-seated emotion. The significance of that event should have been negligible. However, this was not the case. It altered everything. Late-night discussions. Arian is unable to fall asleep one evening. She enters the courtyard and is taken aback by the fact that Veer is already seated. Veer is unable to slumber. A pulse of silence is represented by the number 1. Arian's hair is influenced by the night wind. She gazes at Veer with trepidation. Baba Arian. Do you believe that individuals can experience feelings of loneliness, even when they are not alone? Veer gazes at her for an extended period of time before emitting a profound groan. Arian, true loneliness does not result from remaining alone. It is the result of interacting with individuals who do not perceive you. Their gazes intersect. A change occurs between them, and they are able to comprehend a connection. However, Arian looks aside before it can advance any further. During Diwali, it is prohibited to handle the festival night. Outside, Arian is illuminating lamps. Kabir is currently engaged in a business call. Veer approaches to offer assistance. While positioning a lamp, their palms inadvertently collide. Veer does not promptly depart, despite Arian's flinching. Indeed. Gently. Arian, the lighting is appropriate for you. Startled, Arian gazes at him. We are unable to interpret his facial expression. She abruptly withdraws, feigning to concentrate on the lighting. The lamps were not the sole source of the shimmering flames that evening. Something else had sparked an emotion that neither of us had the fortitude to identify. A dialogue. Arian is in the kitchen as I overheard. In the living room, she overhears her mother-in-law conversing with Veer. Mother-in-law. Veer, I have observed your perspective on her. Arian undergoes the phenomenon of freezing. Indeed. You are in error. Mother-in-law. Do you believe that I am oblivious to the situation? The manner in which she becomes more cheerful when you are present. The manner in which you demonstrate concern. Silence that is excruciating. Mother-in-law. You are my spouse and she is the wife of my son. Certain boundaries should never be breached. Arian's pulse is pounding as she grasps the counter. Bidding farewell with great sadness. Veer declares his intention to embark on a pilgrimage for several months the following day. Indeed, it is time for me to take a break. Arian's breath is caught. She gazes at him, her eyes posing the query she is unable to articulate. Why did Arian discover a note on her bedside table that evening? Certain relationships are akin to the wind that is sensed but never grasped. Arian, this is the appropriate course of action. Experience joy. She holds the note to her chest as tears stream down her face. The silence that persists. Several months have passed. Arian is seated in the courtyard, gazing at the rain. Kabir scarcely acknowledges her presence when he returns home. She observes him walk past her and subsequently gazes at the vacant chair that was once occupied by Veer. Certain love tales were never intended to be written. They are present in silent goodbyes, unspoken remarks, and stolen moments. He departed, but a portion of me accompanied him. And despite the fact that I will never express it verbally, he will forever be the protagonist of my unresolved narrative. Some love is not intended to be, but it is experienced indefinitely. Like what you heard. There's plenty more heartbreak and secrets to come. Hit like, subscribe, and stay curious with Tangled Truths.